All right, everyone. Just wanted to do a quick rundown on how to do MLA format for your entire final draft, including the essay itself, your bibliography, and your works cited page. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully you have everything into one document so you can see the typed work here. I pretty much just have mumbo jumbo written there, but you get the picture. We have the different paragraphs. We have all of our written text. We have our bibliographies, so all the sources that we looked at when we were beginning our research, and then we also have our works cited page, so all the sources that we used in our actual paper. So if you don't have all three of those in the same document yet, you would want to stop the video and make sure to put those all together now. That being said, we are going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, it'd be nice for your teacher to know who is writing this paper. So you'd want to put your student name, so your first and last name, whatever it may be. And then after that, you're going to have your teacher's name. So in this case, that would be me. On a third line, you are going to have the name of the class. So we are lit line 4. You can put the period number if you'd like as well. Fourth line, so the last little chunk of our header here is going to be the date. With MLA, we are going to be doing the date in the order of the day, month, and year. So it isn't super important to me whatever date you put, but as long as it's sometime around the due date of May 1st. So you're going to put the day, 1, the month spelled out, so it's the word, not a number, and then 2020, the year. So no punctuation here. We're doing day, month, year. Once you are done with that, you're going to click enter one time. Notice all of this is left aligned, so we have this button up here, left aligned, so it's putting it to the left side of our paper. For our title, you're going to want to have that new line open. You're going to click the center align button up here, and then you're going to type your title. I do not want your title to be research paper or essay. Tell me what your paper is about, okay? So whatever your topic is, that's what we should be seeing in your title. It should be related to the content of your titles or of your work. For example, if I was writing about universal healthcare, you would just say something about your title and kind of how you feel about it. So you're kind of hinting towards whatever side you are looking at. Notice with our title, we have the first letter capitalized with all the important words. In this case, they're all important words. That's just what you do with titles, just to make it stand out from the rest. Once we get to the main content of our paper, remember we are indenting or pressing the tab button on our keyboard to show each new paragraph, including the first one. So if you look through my paper, you can see my tabs or my indents of 1/4 inch. You can see that on the ruler up here, all the way through to the end. So if you have that already, good job. Your essay should be left aligned. So once again, same alignment as our little header up here. You need that left align. It should not be justified, meaning everything is the same on both sides. It should not be centered. It should not be on the right. We are looking at the left align. After that, another important thing to include that some people often forget. If you go to the top of any page, really, and just double click, you're going to see this header band pop up at the top. And so this is where we're going to be putting our page number. So you're going to type your last name, whatever the student last name is, and then you're going to click space once. You're going to go up to our toolbox here, and you're going to click insert. You're going to scroll down to page numbers, and you're going to get a little jump out over here. You are going to click this button here. It is a page with a 1 in the right-hand corner, followed by a page with a 2. That is called rolling page numbers. That's one of the many names that it gives, but basically whatever page you are on, it is going to count it for you. So you do not have to manually do that. So you definitely want that, so it shows what page you're on throughout your essay, and it just keeps track of that on its own. One thing you want to do with your page number at the top is you want to highlight it all, and you want to make sure it's the right font. The font we are working on throughout our entire essay is going to be Times New Roman. So this is alphabetized. You're going to scroll down to the bottom, Times New Roman, click it, And then you're also going to want to make sure it's size 12 because it does not default to either of those. You need to change those manually. Once you've done that, it's good for all the headers. You can click back down here. You may notice this page looks pretty wide, okay? Standard for MLA format is going to be 1-inch margins all the way around. The way to get to our margins, you click the File button up here when you are using a Google Doc. You scroll all the way down to close to the bottom, and you click Page Setup. A little box should pop up, and then you're going to see margins on the right-hand side of that box. Top, bottom, left, right, those all need to be 1.0 or 1. Google Docs usually defaults to that, but it is always good to check that just in case. Notice my paper looks a lot different now. We have that 1-inch box all the way around each page. So that is making our paper a little more sightly and easier to read. We've knocked that out. That is the last thing we need to do with the essay part of our work, short of double spacing and our font. So we did the font with our little page number, but we need to make sure that we have that matching font with the rest of our paper. So you need to highlight from the bottom of your essay all the way to the top through your header. You need to make sure everything's highlighted. You need to go up to the font box again. Hopefully, if you've already done the page number, you have recent, Times New Roman, click it again. Font size, 12 again. And then you're going to go to this box over here. It looks like an arrow pointing up and down with 3 lines to the right of it called line spacing. You are going to go down to double spaced. Notice I didn't click enter twice up here or anywhere else to get that extra spacing. We did the highlight and then we went to the line spacing box over here and then clicked double to get everything taken care of. Now that you got all that done, MLA format's looking good for our essay itself. We need to move on to the bibliography. You need to make sure that your bibliography starts on its own page. So if our essay ends on page 5, that means bibliography is starting on page 6. The way to do that, click wherever whether you have your bibliography in there, you're going to click right before the word, like it's showing here. If you don't have it in there yet, you can click at the end of your last paragraph, but either way, you are going to click somewhere to set your mouse, and then you're going to go to Insert and down to Break, and you're going to slide over to Page Break. That is going to start you on a new page. If you already have it in there, the reason you click before the word bibliography is to not create any extra lines at the top of that paper. So you have that at the top. And then notice I have all of my entries, everything that I have looked at during my research. Even if I didn't end up directly using it in my paper, I still need to have it listed because I looked at it and it could have influenced my thinking and writing. You're going to highlight everything in there. It is alphabetized according to the first word in the entry. Most of the times that is the last name of the author, but sometimes it will be based off the first letter of the title if there is no author. So once you have those alphabetized, you want to highlight everything all the way up to but not including the bibliography title. Remember that is centered, same font, same size, same double spacing, all that stuff. You're going to go to your ruler. You're going to highlight everything and you're going to click on the blue arrow pointing down. You're going to slide that over to 0.5. Notice all of your work slid over that far onto your paper. While still having everything highlighted, you need to click on the blue line above it. So if you can see it, there's just a very faint white line in between them. You want to click the blue line above it and you are sliding that back to 0.00. Notice every entry, the first line, is back at 0.00 and everything underneath it is 0.5. This is what we call a hanging indent. This is helpful for people that look at your bibliography and your works cited page because it just shoots out that first part of the entry and it's very easy to look through the alphabetized list and find what you're looking for. So it serves a pretty helpful purpose. We already have this here, but you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go to the end of your bibliography, your insert, down to your break, page break. You're going to have your work cited on its own page. So my Bibliography ends on page 7. Works cited is ending on page 8. And then the works cited is all of our sources that we actually used within our essay. So it's going to contain some of the same information, but not everything that's in the bibliography. You're going to highlight everything again up to but not including the works cited title. You're going to slide our blue arrow to 0.5, and then you're going to click the blue line above it and slide it back to 0.0. You're going to get that same hanging indent effect where the first line in each entry is out all the way to our margin and everything else underneath it is pushed away so we can easily see the first line in the entry and what we're looking for when we go through our alphabetized list. After that, you're just simply highlighting everything that you have listed. We've already done everything up through the essay, so you're doing the bibliography and the works cited, highlighting everything. Same thing, Times New Roman, size 12, double spaced, and that should be just about all you need to know, all right? We have those on some separate pages. We have everything all in the same document, our essay, bibliography, or works cited, and then that is pretty much a complete draft. As long as you have proofread and gone through all the instructions beforehand to get to the point where your content is final draft worthy, go ahead and make these changes if you haven't already, and then submit it into the Google Classroom page to get this research process finally finished. Nice job, congrats. If anything doesn't quite add up, let me know and we can work on it together. Thanks.